Folks, we back another week, another time to get it in. Creative Financing with JB. We up and at it. Got my man, Mr. George Johnson. He gonna come on and break it down to you about this entrepreneurship. But folks, for all y'all out there that fought through this snow, man, my hat's off to you. Y'all stay safe. Y'all stay kind of in a good area and know that this stuff ain't gonna last forever. You know, anybody out there homeless, you know, try to find that shelter for you that we can be able to accommodate you during this time now and get this thing going. But we're gonna have a good conversation tonight because we're gonna talk about that entrepreneurship. We're gonna talk about being able to maintain it. And guess what? You know, everybody's able. You always hear me say that, man. You know, everybody got a shot. They're like, oh, it ain't always easy. But guess what? My man George Johnson gonna break down a little life story for you. He gonna tell you what he's doing. He gonna tell you how he got there, and you know some obstacles he overcame. You know, something that you have to do out here is to maintain and understand that if you have a plan for success, it's going to happen. It might not happen right there that day, but it's going to happen. And guess what? You got to stay positive. You got to stay alert of what's going to happen out there. But man, I'm not going to steal a show. Y'all know me. I'm a man of many words. But Mr. George Johnson, I want to thank you so much for coming on tonight and you know, spending some time with us. But give us a little bit of your background and you know what you done did out here in life, and we're gonna go into the business part of it.
A little bit of my background. I used to be a what they call a problem in the city. I used to be a bad kid. I ran around. I did it all. Used to steal cars. Sold drugs. I did it all. I did jail. I did end up doing 13 years in prison. And during that course of time, you know, I used to be the tier man, getting paid 9 cents an hour, $9.18 a month to keep a tier clean. And throughout that course, you know, I just sat one day and sat back and was like, man, why can't I just make this a career when I get home? Like, I can turn something into something. And you know, I took the classes, business management, money school, to understand the financial side of interest rates and so on and so forth. Then when I came home, you know, you got to build your own money up. You know, instead of me going to try to get loans and dig myself a hole. You know, because when you start a business, you're gonna start out in the hole. You're not always gonna start out looking at revenue and being successful. So it took me 17 different jobs. You know, saving up, going from job to job, just saving up, and then I ended up getting in contact with DAG services, and I hosted an event for them when they had the last Firefly, and I ran a 49-man crew for as far as the bathroom cleanup department, and everything ran smooth from Thursday all the way until Sunday. Was never not one complaint. All the security, all the staff appreciated the work that was done. They didn't have to. Nothing was delayed. Nothing was ever out. Everything was always kept up. So with that, it led me into getting up with an old childhood friend of mine. And he sat down. He talked to me about the ropes. Shawnee Ingram. And he was like, "Yeah, you might as well start your own company." And I was like, "Yeah, I was thinking about it, you know." And I looked at the prices. I seen the steps I had to take, and I proceeded to do so. I came up with a unique name, something that I knew that fit me. I love God, man. He changed my life, man. I got all things through him, so that's why I named it "Leave It in My Hands," because my life is in His hands, you know. So, why not have a title of something that you love? You know what I mean, every day.
Right. And George, I mean, just to know that you coming out here to start this entrepreneurship, you know, what obstacles did you see that you probably was going to run into?
Well, the obstacles of starting out was, you know, basically getting people to understand you're a new company. That's a major far as canvassing and putting yourself out there and developing your business, because everybody's not going to give you all the keys to get in. You know, they show you the rope, but they won't show you the keys to get in. You know, so it took me to really go around and canvassing, and you know, starting out with low prices, offering so people could see my service, so I could build my clientele, so I could have good credit on their end, which everybody considers stars. Trying to get a 5-star company, and one of the main obstacles I had is understanding the outcome of it, the full format of how to go get a bid, how to search for a bid, where can I go to even get in touch with somebody where I can start bidding on these projects. And then when you get into the bidding problem, you still got to understand like all the gist of it, and they don't explain that. So when you're going into a bid, I used to go into bids and I used to accept them, and I ain't never had a chance to really understand. I had to add my expenses in there as well. When you go to do a bid, you got to add all your expenses. Like say if they got a building and it says, "Hey, I need you to clean this building." What will it take for you to clean this building? So my walkthrough is for me to consider what's needed and what's the outcome and how this is going to get done. So that's what people fall short at in this company. Whenever you go for a bid, you got to add them expenses. How much cleaning how much cleaning supplies you gonna need? How much money you gonna spend for them cleaning supplies? How many workers you gonna need? How much you gonna pay these workers? These are the steps you got to add it to the bid, and that's what makes the bid finalized. Because they're gonna pay you what they're gonna pay you for, but then you add your expenses in. That's when the contract becomes a full contract, and then you go ahead and get it. If they accept it, then you'll get the contract, and that's how you'll start off. So all your expenses is already set. You just got to be able to make sure you got the team to maintain it.
Wow, man. And tell us when you started averaging those expensive, and I want to welcome Smack. She didn't check that. When you started talking about those expenses that you got to add in, how did you learn how to do that? Did you have to go through trial and error, or was it something that really stood out to you that you know X, Y, and Z?
Well, it stood out and it came across me because when I was working when I first started out, it was subcontracting because that's the fastest way to get in to get revenue to start building and saving. So I was subcontracting when I first started out, and then I wanted to get into the bidding. So when I got into the bidding, I did seek help and ask questions, but again, everybody ain't gonna tell you everything because they don't want you to outcome them. Which I don't look at it like that because it's a big industry.
Right.
So when I first got in, I missed out on a lot of them because I ain't fully have everything I needed at the time to go for certain bids. Like you got to make sure you have insurance to cover certain all areas don't require certain things, but there's stipulations and permits you got to have for certain contracts, and when you go for certain bids, you got to make sure you're governed and you're bound for some of these bids. Some of these bids if you're federally bound. It all depends on what you're chasing, and you got to make sure you cover all your avenues so that way, no matter what bid comes your way, you'll be able to get it.
Wow. And welcome, Nicole, and stuff, making sure that we cover those obstacles and stuff. And tell us, how hard was it for you to find that help? I know sometimes they say it's hard to find good help, but when you went out there, how did you find that help that was necessary for the job that you were going to do?
Well, it wasn't really hard for me to find that help because like I said, I established this company to build and help ex-offenders, people that struggle getting an everyday job, dealing with the fact of probation and parole for violation with no employment. So I'll be trying to rotate off the contracts I got. I'll be trying to rotate, just put people in there so they have some revenue coming in some type of way, to help alleviate some of the problems they may have as far as bills, expenses, want to take their kids out, do things, et cetera. So I try now. I'm just trying to promote it to be bigger, so that way everybody can really get in that really want to work. And it's a lot of them. People hit me all the time asking me for employment. I'll be wanting to give it to them, but like I tell them, when you get in, you got to be certain though. And we have conversations before they even start employment. Because I like to get to understand the person and get to understand where their mind at. Because a lot of people just get in just for a quick dollar, and this is not what I'm establishing. I'm trying to make this a lifetime, something that's easy for you to do, and it's not hard, and you got a boss that really understand life and the struggle.
And that's what, and somebody just texted, I guess they missed part of the beginning, George, where they said, what's the story behind your company name again? And you can break that down again for them if they missed that part.
Oh, okay. The reason for my company name is because, out of my life and what I did, running around being bad, army, breaking the law, doing jail time, I gave my life to God. So by me giving my life to God, I got to make sure he's a part of my life every day. So that's why I named it Leave It in My Hands, because that's what he asked me to do, to leave my life in his hands. So I leave everything in his hands, including my company. I let him guide it, and I just follow.
Yeah, man, and that's amazing. If people just trust in it and just try it one time, it can
Yeah,
happen. You can
most
expand,
definitely.
just leave it there, and
Yeah,
stuff start coming to you, and you be like, "Yo, where this come from?"
yeah. I mean, it's been times where during the winter time, the cleaning companies get slow. I mean, it's been times where I wasn't having no revenue coming in for like a month or two, and it create demand and the body be stressed. Period. You know what I mean? Because you like to see revenue. Who don't? But
Hmm.
I couldn't understand that sometimes got to have a resting season too.
Hmm.
From going so hard, and constantly running, you got to have a chance to recharge as well. And I use that time to recharge, sit back, I network, and just build better relationships. And I reach out to other places while the company's running slow. So when we pick back up, if I do have other contracts, that's easy for me to put them in the schedule.
Hmm. And somebody asked, "How would you describe your brand's mission?" I mean, how would you describe it? What you're doing out here, and you helping those folks get a second opportunity that's coming out.
Um, the best way to describe it is brick by brick,
Hmm.
meaning we take one body at a time, man, to help restore life. To help lift a life that was once down and show them that they can make it. And there's a hand out here that'll guide you and will give you the opportunity.
Hmm.
Um, the main foundation of my company is basically it's like a reentry bridge for society, man, that's needed help, man, is getting denied these opportunities for jobs just because they had a hiccup in their past. Everybody deserves a second chance.
And that's right. We all need a second chance. I know I did. If I go back and look at my life and stuff, I I needed a second chance to get it right, and God gave me that second chance. I'm so thankful for that. Also, Smack said, "Amen." He got some videos where he prayed for the city on live, and that's good, man. Smack, George, she said you out there praying for the city, and you know what? We need more brothers like that, George. That really can just put it all in his hands and let him
See,
know that
God,
this
see,
is
God
what it
said you got to move without fear.
yeah.
The vengeance is his and not ours. You know what I mean? It's not for me to cast a judgment on nobody, but the devil busy. So the best way to restore a community, we gotta pray for it. We gotta pray
Mhm,
for that power, that peace.
mhm,
The more we call and the more we shout, the more he gonna present himself. It's
mhm,
not gonna be on time when we expect it, but just know it's coming.
mhm. So George, somebody asked, what is unique about your company compared to the other people in that market that do the same services that you do?
My company understands the struggle.
Mm,
Um, you don't have to have a lot to receive our services. But only
mhm.
thing we ask is to make sure that you're honest about it because I mean we don't mind doing the work. But
Right.
we still got lives and bills to pay. So we're not like the rest of these companies charging you all this extreme money just to have a home clean or to have something moved or to have something done. It's a struggle, and everybody's trying to build, and everybody need a company that understands the struggle. And that's what
Right.
my company provides. My company is the bridgeway for the ones that really need the services because they really don't have time to do it. They got kids, daycare, school, job, some still in school, so they don't really have the time to do a lot of the stuff. So that's what my company comes in for. And it's not here to break nobody, but at the end of the day, it's to make sure everybody's life is still because everybody want a clean home at the end of the day.
Mhm, mhm. And what really, I mean, that is unique. You taking the people that needs that job and providing them a second chance. I mean, what made you think of that aspect of that vision that, hey, I'm going to build them back up to be an asset in the community?
Because, like I said, I started out working, before I even started my company. So when I was working, I used to be at work, and a lot of my fellow employees, we used to talk about stuff like that, like what would be better if they had, or if it was affordable, and then actually working with companies and the cleaning businesses, seeing how it's being done, and then hearing how the customers may say something about the payment and so on and so forth. So that gave me the opportunity to say, hey, man, look. You got the heart to get it done. You got the will to get it done. Once you establish something to become that bridge, instead of sitting back and talking about it, just become that resolution. And that's what made me get started.
For it. And somebody said, how does your business give back to the community that that is more rewarding, probably, because I know you're doing a lot of stuff out there in the community to give back and
Yeah.
strengthen it.
I mean, we come together for a lot, man. We partner in with the hunger drive. We partner in with like the snowstorm that just came. Like we go around and we really help the community, and then we don't charge nobody nothing crazy. But we
Mm.
really go around. We help people that's in need. If you're stuck, I'll pull you out. And I don't even charge nobody to do this stuff like everybody else would, because everybody just need a helping hand and know there's somebody out in the world with a good heart. You know.
Right.
We also help the unfortunate people that's homeless. We help pay their rooms, their hotel fees. Um, we contribute in their life. If you got a light bill, electric bill, or you late behind something, we help with funds. Like we may not have a lot to give, but when we have it and we got that call, we'll provide it.
And that's key, for you got to give back in your community, folks.
Yeah,
We got to make sure that we always reaching out to provide that helping hand. And the question is, how do we know what that helping hand is? You have to get out here and you got to pound the pavement for this
yeah,
stuff. And I'm pretty sure, George, that's what you had to do when you came out here. You pound the pavement to find out what was needed.
yeah. No, with no stopping, man. I had to let my energy be what it is. Like every day, man. It was just my drive, wanting to help everybody, man. Like my whole thing is I like to see people happy, man. I don't like to see people stressed. You know what I mean? Because stress is enough. And if I can help you in some type of way to make your situation better, I will.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
I'm just like, don't ask for nothing. I don't look for nothing in return. Because like I
right.
said, my brother come upstairs.
Right, for it and stuff, and we always want to peep that. And Tyrone Rick said 10 in the I missed that little icon he put up there from Tyrone Hicks, but good day, Tyrone Hicks. That's my family. Yeah, welcome, my brother. But we always want to be a community that bonds together
Mm.
and be able to lift one another up. I tell people the only reason you looking down is to pick somebody up. And when you pick them up, you hold them up and say, yo, we going up. We going up
Yeah,
together, and we're
yeah,
gonna do things and stuff. As you heard George say, I mean, it's a snow day. He went around there, he pulling people out, and all this stuff. You know, that's good Samaritan work that, it's gonna reward him in the long run, because
yeah,
God's he's extending the olive branch to folks. And they said if you see your brother in need, you got to help him where he at. And George, I know growing up in Dover, you done seen a lot of stuff. What do you think some of the big needs in Dover is right now that we struggle with?
One of the major needs in Dover is stabilization.
Mm,
The crime rate is too high. It's too much downtime. It's no structure. Um, and that a major asset. Like, 'cause when I grew up, like I said, I did get in trouble. But
mhm.
far as doing stuff and getting away with it was never a key when I grew up. Like the structure was there. If you did something, you gonna get in trouble for it. But now it's too relaxed. Like it's too much happening. There's not enough structure and stability. It's not enough boots, real force on the ground. Like, and that has to be done in order to have a community grow. In order for a community to be successful, you need peace too. Because people
Mm,
gotta be able to have peace at the end of the day.
right, right.
If a person not peaceful, then their mind can't be free. They
Mm.
can't be comfortable. So yeah, that's one of the number one major keys that's needed is stability. We got to stabilize our community.
You think
And
we
like I
need
said, it
more?
took a village to do so.
You think more jobs and stuff to do would help and embrace that change right there?
That's the key. That's another key as far as employment goes. It should be more opportunities for second chances, man. Not because, and then the pay rate of the jobs. Like right now, the economical reason a person got to really be making $30 an hour just to survive in Delaware. You
Mm,
know, and a lot of people ain't even seeing $20 an hour, let alone 15. Like,
right, right.
and it's basically chasing paycheck to paycheck, and that brings a lot of stress upon shoulders, man. Because they want to do a lot of people want to do a lot more things, like even taking a simple trip, and they can't because They living paycheck to paycheck. They really ain't got enough to even offer or give.
Hmm. Right,
And we
right,
also,
right. And
in another topic, we also need more resources for our homeless folks, man.
right, right. And we were just talking about that, we just had this winter storm again that came through. I was just reading somebody said they found somebody deceased at the bus stop, from
Yeah,
the storm and stuff. And I mean that yeah, my hat goes out to that. We provide those resources just to put the people inside during the weather.
yeah,
For some folks want to go in there, some folks don't. Um, but you know what? We got to give them an opportunity to live, regardless what's
absolutely,
happening. Regardless.
absolutely. And that's one of the main. That's another one of the main keys. It is like now the bill they trying to come up with. Um, it's like a slap in the face because if we limited help to the less fortunate, then how great are we?
Right, right,
I'm
right.
not the type that can sit back and be comfortable knowing that if I ride past somebody that I know is in need, I don't care what his life is or what he does. My
Hmm.
job is to make an offer and let him know it's a heart still out here. Because that's what takes. That's what it takes for a person to change. To know that somebody, a lot of people, is in these situations because people stop caring
That's right. That's
because
right.
of their past actions or what they did. So a lot of people is in them situations because they know they ain't got nobody in their corner. So by me doing so, it lets a person know that somebody really care, man. Like no matter what I do or what I got going on in my life, you know what I mean? That person still look out for me. And that's what caused a person to go back and want to change.
Hmm. And we talk about that bill with those people that's panhandling and stuff. We talked about that for it, and we need to find some type of resolution to help those folks.
Yeah,
Um,
rather than penalizing the community and them. That's backwards.
yeah, yeah, for it and stuff because what really happens, George, is that we force some people to do stuff they don't want to do to survive.
Yeah,
And if that calls for robbing somebody, more breaking in stores or whatever it is to survive, it's nothing intentional, but it's just the ability to go forward and live.
yeah. Know what I mean? And it's like it goes out to the brother or the sister that deceased or at the bus stop. That's a prime example. If we can't if we go to help that person and you penalize me for helping that person, then you're just saying you don't care about a life.
That's right. That's right. And welcome my brother Bay there. He just came on and stuff. But we're going to continue to walk that walk and talk and educate our folks out here because sometimes folks don't know what life is,
Yeah,
or they overlook life for what's really happening out here. And I ask everybody, have if you ain't made no bad decisions, tell me how you did it. you know what?
yeah, please.
If you ain't never made none, I need to know the recipe so we can cook that up and we can start spreading that.
Yeah, yeah. They put that on some steak right there.
Yeah, and Smack said you need to make $30 an hour to survive in Dover. thirty
Yeah,
dollars, and I'm in, and we need rent stabilization. Smack, you are so right with that because we're struggling with, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to take people's profit away, but at some point in time, we need affordable housing.
yeah,
For what does that look like? That look like somebody that works at fast food or just a basic minimum wage job find some place to live that they call their own to where
yeah,
they excited about it, where they can enjoy it and stuff. I got a goal and I got a vision that I just want to have almost like a shelter that we can build up um here that can be able to house these people, even if it's a one bedroom, one bath, for
yeah,
those single folks. And, as we get other folks in there, so they can kind of see what it is to have your own again and give them a sign of hope
yeah.
for stuff to go from there. And somebody asked a question: what are your short-term and long-term goals for your business if you had to just put them out there?
The short term goal for my business is just to be founded inside my community in a whole, with an open door for those that's reentering and those that's less fortunate that have a job, or some that may not like what they do and they want to change something else. So to be able to have a fallback. I wanted to be a pillow for the community. And the long term goal to this company is to have it established around all the states that in needed areas, that has low income housing, and those that don't make a lot. Trying to be established everywhere to be able to bring them services to the ones that can't afford the other companies that charge high for these services.
Right, for it and stuff, and that's what's needed out here, for to have a job base, have a job market that folks can go to and really say, hey, this worked out good. I was at Al North 35, I think, with Enrique on I want to say that Friday, and the lady came in and dropped off those things about a job employment. I felt enticed. Yo, I'm letting everybody in the city know, if you need some money, yo, come on through. Get $1,000 so you can kind of stabilize yourself. It might not be a whole lot. It might not be 8 hours, but if you're getting 3-4 hours that day, and I think it said $25 an hour.
Yeah.
I'm like, we close to where Smack's talking about.
Yeah, it breaks the change a little bit of comfortability.
Yeah, for where people say, yo, I can go here and I can get this, and I'm doing something in the community to get it big, and it's gonna only help us where we're at, and in our community and where our walk is for it. And I'm gonna tell you, our long-term goal is to see that we just in peace, people in peace, harmony, come out. I know I grew up in New York in the city and stuff, but sit down, talk, have a little ice cream or something, talk about some good times, and start building some relationships.
Mm-hmm.
People came from and what they're doing to change their life. I was just telling the young lady earlier, I was like, man, I remember when my credit score was 475. And she like, you tell people that I like, ain't nothing to be ashamed of, because the only way for me to go
And you gotta show growth, man, like with later, so people understand that we've been there before.
Right. And stuff like that. And you right, Smack. Al North 35 is for the community. Folks, I'm telling you, if I didn't do nothing but sit down and have that conversation, I ain't gonna tell y'all I bought 2 bean pies too, but that's not but they were good food. It's good food, but it was a good time just sitting there having a conversation, and it's relaxed, it's comfortable for the community. Y'all stop by, support our Al North 35, to go in their neighborhood advocates. That's right. And guess what? Go there, support our restaurant, our food court right there at Al North 35, because guess what? We're going to expand off of that. We're going to build up this community, and it's going to take one step at a time. We're going to do things out there that's going to help it. And as you hear, George, George, you got into that business of doing that, but you didn't even just think about yourself. You thought about how you can help other people.
Yeah. That's really how, like, just listen to how, in the neighborhoods, how the brothers that just talk about how they're given a chance, or they just give me some work, and they just want to do something. So it's like, man, look, why not open up a lot of avenues? And see, I open up a lot because I do move outs, I do trash outs, I travel, I do home cleanings, residential cleanings. I do like anything that got a hustle to it. I pretty much get down with for as establishing work for anybody, even if it's just a quick side job. If somebody come to me and say, "Yo, man, I need to make a couple dollars. I got a phone bill." I'll start networking with the people that I know. Hey, look, I got a brother that need a couple dollars real quick. I know if you need some work done, please get in contact with me, so we can get this individual inside of some type of appointment and working. and some places take opportunities and just have them come in and just do something. And it's up to the individual to really be consistent. And like I tell them, if the opportunity is given, you got to present yourself in a manner that makes a person understand that this is really what you want and you're not playing.
That's right. That's right. And that's what it's all about, being able to have an opportunity to resource for our folks that's in need.
Yeah,
For and the question is how we do it. How we do it is we build up our community. We find outlets where we can help one another and get
yeah,
somebody to pay that $60, $100, $200 phone bill or whatever it might be, or help with them kids with them uniforms or something like that needs some food in their house. We have to think like that. And, that's a vision that we got to keep in mind here. Any entrepreneurs, I'm going to tell you right now that if you want to donate or have something open, come down to Al North 35, reach out and let us know that we're able to find somebody that's going to provide those resources for you. Because, once you have that outlet of having some things to be able to be done, you're able to help the community and we're able to expand the community. And George, somebody asked you, what advice would you give to someone aspiring to be an entrepreneur? What could you tell them so they can take that leap of faith?
Just don't be scared thinking that you're gonna have failure. Failure is not an option. Um, Always pick something that you really want and you really want to do. Don't just go grab something because it's like, oh man, this industry is doing good, so I'm gonna go do. No, don't do that. Base it on something you really want and build it. It can be whatever it is. If you want to make shoes, print shoes, make clothes, print clothes. If you want to do masonry, if you want to open a mechanic shop, it no matter what it is. Just make sure you really want to get to it, and by doing that, start establishing yourself. Like if you want to do a mechanic shop, start buying mechanic material that you're gonna need as far as the tool and accessories. Before you even put a label on your company, because you want to be founded first before you even start off. You want to make sure you have all your dots and T's crossed. You don't want to be able to start something, then you got to go find this and you got to go way over here to do this. You want to have everything already together. So only thing you got to do is canvas the area for is building up your clientele.
Mm-hmm. And George, if somebody wants to use your services, do we have a phone number we can give them where they can reach out to you and talk about that?
Yeah, it's 302-387-7883. They also can go and look on Google of Leaving My Hand Cleaning Service, and it'll pop up under Yelp, YELP. And my number is on the website.
Okay. And you said leave it in your hands.com or
Yeah, leave it in my hand.
leave it in my hands.com.
Yeah.
For then, reach out, folks. Y'all need that cleaning service. We got George here. He's able to come to you, provide the service, give a quote. Folks, I always say this on my show. Don't go out there and act like this is time to lowball somebody. This is a service. This is a business. When you go and pay your bills, you pay the bill of what the charge you. Don't come say, hey man, what kind of discount? This is a service. He already told you have reasonable prices already. So you have to take that into consideration. He has employees he's caring for. He's trying to continue to expand and help the community. As you heard, he gives donations back to the community. You do a good service and utilize the service in an honest, fair way. You know what? I tell people also, when you use a service, leave a tip. Leave a tip for and thanking them for that service that was performed. Because guess what? When you go out here and you're looking around and you're trying to figure it out, somebody came to you instantly to perform that service, performed it to your likings, and it was a good service, the least you can do is tip the service to thank them for doing that. And that's what we want to have. We got to leave it in my hands.com coming through. We got to have George's number coming across. But, any needs you have, even reach out to have a conversation because, George, deals with the community. Yes, Johnny, leave a tip. That's what this is about. Boy, leave a tip. I'm gonna say it 100 times because when you go to a restaurant, you leave a tip. When you get
Yeah,
good service, it's the same thing when we dealing with our folks here. And folks, guess what? Reach out. As you heard, George dealing with some community. He's dealing with second chance folks that's trying to get back and stabilize. And guess what? This is a perfect opportunity to say, hey, George, how can we help you with the people you service? Where are you looking for work at, or where can we set up a contract with you at to help these people? Because guess what? That's the best tip you can give to him when you set him up and give him some longevity, because he's expanding to the folks out here. Because if we was doing wrong, George, what would happen? They call the police on us, and
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
for it. And Smack just put it out there too. But we're gonna have this video posted over and over again because there's some entrepreneurs out there that y'all struggling with something right now. You see it firsthand. George told you he didn't live the perfect life. I didn't live the perfect life. But guess
Yeah,
what? It is possible. It is possible to do it, to learn it. And guess what? We all need mentors. We
yeah,
all need a mentor that gives us and we talk to through that, because when we talk through our shortcomings, guess what? We learn to overcome them. We learn to do more when we do that. And guess what? That builds us up. Like I
yeah,
just told you, I had bad credit. I made bad decisions. And guess what? I had to come figure it out. I had to sit down and say, wait a second. I made that bad decision. How can I get right now? What can
yeah.
I do to
Every morning I wake up, man. My bathroom, I got a quote that sits right next to the mirror. You know what I mean? Never let your pride be your defeat. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? And what that means is no matter how I feel or what I may not like, I gotta accept it because I can't let my pride get in the way of me denying the opportunity that I know I can accept. Um, a lot of things may not come to a structure that I like, but God said accept the blessing given, no matter shape or form. So I
right.
mean, I accept everything given, big, great, or small.
And tell us some what do you think? You started your cleaning business. What was some of the struggles you went through when you was out there? I know people didn't want to take a chance on it, and it was so much.
Um, Resources as far as cleaning supplies. I mean, I started going to Dollar General and Home Depot. Finding a good network where I can set up a straight account where I can just put an order in and just have it shipped of everything that I need. Maintaining supplies for the sites. Um, Employment is one of the keys. Finding workers that actually really want to work. Because you'll deal with the struggle when you first start out. Some people just go just for a quick dollar, and half the work don't even really get done the way you wanted to get done, or the way it's asked to be done. So supervision and maintaining, like me, anybody I bring on, I show them inside of a facility that I already clean 5 days a week, and I have them come just to see how they work. And whatever I see where they lack at, I help them out in a kind way. Look, brother, next time you come through here, um, try it this way. I'm not telling you to do it, but try it this way and you'll get a better outcome. Or I'll show them myself firsthand how to get things done and the way it's supposed to be done. Um, One of the other struggles is having communication dialogue with your workers too, because like I said, a lot of them come from trying to change their life back over. So the greeting and being around the workers and the customers, you got to be able to make sure that the dialogue is on a positive note and there's no foul language, no foul play. That was a lot of my struggles too, because a lot of them had a problem with the cussing and all that when they working or they on the phone, texting and so on and so forth. So breaking them barriers was a little struggle. I never lost contracts behind it, but I lost opportunities for them as being coming back as an employee and
Mhm.
working at the establishment. And that's the kind of stuff that hurt me because I'd rather see them stay because it's an opportunity that can help them in the long run. And that's one of the main obstacles too. So always make sure you network and be straight up real with your customers. Don't go to your customer and then have them thinking that everything's peaches and cream. One thing about this world, they love honesty.
Right.
And if you can present them with honesty and let them be aware hey, this is what's going on, and this is the way I'm going to care about it. If you accept and agree, we can move forward. And a lot of them take the chance, and they like the outcome. Um, a lot of them really wanted the service to come back because how it was conducted. You know.
Mm. And that's important. And then Ricky says something there that we're gonna post again. Most people support the criminals until they get caught. It has become the norm, and that's right. We support the criminal, yes, and professionalism is everything. Therefore, so we want to support our folks out here that's trying to do right, that has that chance. And folks, I know some restaurants out there. It's some facilities out there. Y'all looking for cleaning services. You see it, leaveitinmyhands.com. You're gonna see the phone number come across as well. Give them a call, reach out, because guess what? You're gonna have professional services that are performed at your facility is what you need, and you're gonna have a consistency. As you see, he's hiring folks to train and develop them to be an asset out here in the community. And what better way to do it through his establishment that we have going on here, and that we're making it happen for each other. And it's some folks out there looking for jobs and looking to work. We want to stabilize our community and really understand what's going on here. For as we said, George, you said Dover needs stabilization. You, 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 you know we've been fighting to stabilize our city for a while,
Yeah.
and through so many different forms of leadership. But Smack put something out today about how the leadership is broken down, and where it leads to. So we need to keep in mind that we're in a stabilization mode here. 302-387-7883. That's to leave it in my hands, Mr. George Johnson, right there, that y'all can be able to do it. Leave it in my hands. Contact 302-387-7883. Give them a call, reach out, have that conversation with them. Tell them what y'all going through if you need the services. He does clean outs, he said, he helps with the moving stuff, transportation, so he has a vast variety of services. And George, if you can just break down some more of those services that you offer so the folks can
Um,
see.
home remodels, concrete masonry, what else? Towing mechanic services, the snow removal, which everybody already know. And I mean that's pretty much the areas, the brown areas that we cover.
And that's quite a bit. That's
You know,
quite a
because see, like when I get workers inside my establishment, people that actually work, even though they'll come and clean, I still ask them, hey, what is it, something that you like doing? You know what I mean? Rather than cleaning. Some of them say, hey, man, I like to remodel homes, or I like to do drywall, or I like to do plumbing. So these are agendas that I put inside my network. So if the job come by, somebody, if I'm on a site cleaning, and they be like, you know anybody that may provide the services for drywall? Yes, we can get that done for you as well. And these are the opportunities that the other workers have. They'll get a chance to put people they know that need help. They can go get them and have them come to the job and have them get the job done. You know, um, so it's each one teach one type of deal. You know,
wow, wow. For and mechanic services, as people out here need brakes, oil changes.
yeah, yeah. And see the thing about that is too, because a lot of the people will go through being charged a high price for getting their cars fixed or just having their brakes done. And that's another entity where I come in as far as, give them a reasonable price that's more suitable. And they still getting the same exact work and professional work done. But it's just it's not hurting their pockets at the same time.
Right, right, right. And that's what's key. Affordability. We're in a crisis right now, George. I
Yeah.
don't know if you
A
know
major
a major crisis right now. With finances and stuff. The price of everything's going up. We can hardly afford to do the basic things in life um to really survive, and we have to find ways that we can save a dollar sometime.
Yeah.
Um, I was telling my son, he went to go get an oil change. He said, "Man, Dad, an oil change, $125." I'm like, "Son, we got to shop that around. We have to have a conversation of where we going and what we doing. Business
Yeah.
and smack narrowed down business and home cleaning, deep cleaning, auto mechanic services, move out, light contractor work for homes, work site cleanups. He gets the work done. That's what we talking about, folks. So you looking for those services to get these done, you got to reach out and let them know that, hey, these services are available for them at a reasonable price where it's not gonna kill you. And folks, you're not going up there to the payday loan place to get 4 loans for the service here. So I want y'all to know that we ain't trying to put that 128% on you out here, but we try
And
to make.
like prime example, you just said your son paid $125 for an oil change, and just like see a renting a service for me, it would only been $60.
Yeah, see,
Only thing you have to pay for is with the filter and the oil.
that's
The
it.
service is only $60.
Yeah, and how can you go wrong with that? You save $60. You could have bought some groceries with that.
Yeah,
You
get into the car, you know.
Yeah, and start to think, and I want folks to think that we have resources in our community, and one of my visions is to have a phone book in our community of these services that people look for, and to be able to hand those out when that happens. Great prices is so important
Yeah,
when we have to go and shop for these things, and George, I see all the time, people's trying to figure out stuff, but they don't know how to go and ask for the help that they need,
yeah,
and
and,
and
and, and, and that's a downside because that will probably be your defeat. You can't
yeah.
have pride inside of a business where you're trying to get help. Because at the end of the day, you got to have in your mind, everybody been where you are. It's always been somebody that walked them shoes before you,
Hmm.
and it's always somebody that's currently in them shoes. You know, so it's just I like to continue to motivate, give everybody the morale just to keep going. No
Yeah.
matter what, life always gonna be life.
And somebody asked me, do you do oil changes on foreign cars?
Yeah, yes, they do provide that service too.
Yes. Yeah. Folks, reach out, have that conversation, let them know when you come through, set up that appointment so you can get it going through. Jiffy Lube ain't the only game in town, and all these other places. You don't have to always go to dealership. I mean, those are basic necessities that you can get done, and save a little bit of money here, that your car is going to need over time, you know
Yeah,
um and that's what it is. Somebody asked me, what does take pride in your work mean to you? What does that mean when you say that?
have empathy,
Mm-hmm.
have understanding, and always step out of your shoes and understand this life situation from the point of person you're talking to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everybody I talk to and everybody I've rendered help to, I like to have a conversation because ain't nothing shy about me. I done had a life over a life. And I'm currently rebuilding life. So I'm always open for better suggestions. I'm good. I love criticism. If I'm doing something, somebody may see something that can be done a certain way or a certain way, please let it be known. Because that's what helps the community grow stronger. Your input means something in this company.
Mm-hmm.
In this business that I got. So yeah, that's one of my that's if I answer that correctly,
Yeah.
that's one of my main entities, right?
Take
Establish
pride.
myself in that.
Yeah, take pride. Do a job well done, and know that you doing something good. My father always tell me, if you cleaning that toilet bowl, you got to be the best toilet bowl cleaner. Guess what? You
I'm
want to
saying
set
like
this.
when I walk into somebody's house, I want their house like I clean a house like I clean mine. I want it to look good. I want it to smell good. I want it to be comfortable. So If I come in and I clean a person's house, I want you to be able to walk in and be like, man, look, I'm off work. I'm gonna turn the TV on. And, you know what I mean? Think about something to eat later. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get comfortable. It's just nice and clean in here. Yes, Lord. Yeah, you know, and that's how I like to feel. Like even when I'm leaving out, I leave out like it's mine. Like yeah, everything together. I double check everything, make sure everything intact. Yeah, okay. Then I ask the customer, please do a walkthrough. You know, and tell me what you like. You still see something that you don't like. Just come back and let me know. We can touch it up before we leave. You know, that's my number one keys. I always like to make sure that they're engaged inside this project too, because it's their services that they need.
Yeah. And somebody said speak to management and create a business proposal for Dollar Tree. They need your service for cleaning.
Okay, okay, I definitely will. You know, and like I said again, it's about how you walk into an establishment. If you walk into an establishment and it smells good and it's clean, you bring about more business
Hmm.
because people don't have a problem coming there. They know that it's clean. They know that everything around is not dirty. You know, it's been well kept. So I can service here. I can clean here. Um, it's like I did a proposal for a couple of restaurants. I'm waiting for answers just to clean their ducts out. You know, get rid of all that old backed up grease. You know that's up in the ducts. You know that people don't really think affects cooking, but it does. You know,
Right,
it,
right,
it,
right.
it's just the small things. You know what I mean? That make something better.
Yeah, and guess what, folks? Those are services that a lot of these facilities need, and they got to reach out
Major,
and
major.
major. We're getting sick out here from this food. And it's not only the food, but sometimes it's the cleanliness of the place that we're in, and they
Yeah.
don't take that time to figure they can find somebody. And I can tell you, folks, every employee don't want to clean when they work at that place. They want to perform that
They do
service, and they
all
want to
that.
you have to hire outside companies sometime to get those services and to get your place where you don't have violations and health board coming in and all of that stuff. So that's something. So I'm gonna tell you, leave it in my hands. Phone number 302-387-7883. Reach out and have that conversation. We building back the community, folks. We're getting it back where it need to be at. Brother Enrique, I want to thank you. He gave me some knowledge last week, but the Dover Coalition meets every third Thursday at Al Nora 35 at 6 p.m. Folks, come out, voice your concerns, see what's happening in your community. Let's have a conversation so we can get some of this resolved here, so we can talk through some of the issues that we're dealing with to find a way to make sure that we get our community back to where it needs to be. They're doing a lot
And,
of changes.
and another key thing, right? To piggyback off what you're saying is, don't think just because you bring your opinions to the table that people ain't listening. We are.
Right.
And trust me, it's work being done that the community may not see now, but when the picture come out, I mean, you'll see that the work being done. It's work being done to better our community because I want to get back to seeing the kids come out and play with their toys on Christmas. You know,
Yes.
I want to get back to seeing basketball games on in the neighborhoods on the basketball courts during the summer. You know,
Mhm.
people just out enjoying life again. You know, that's what I want to bring back to this community, man. That's what I miss.
Right.
Kids out there racing their little motor control cars that they got for Christmas, or trying their new hoverboards, or riding their new bikes. Just coming out with their new clothes on just to show off. That's the stuff we need to bring back to our community, and that's our fight. Justice reform. Technical violations. Fighting the ordinance for the panhandling. Like this is the stuff that my company get involved with. Because once again, I established my company off leave it in my hands. So that means I'm involved in everything that deals with my community. It ain't just about the cleaning area. It's about everything.
Right. And that panhandling bill, folks, that's a big issue right now that that we need to go ahead and we need to address. You need to come out and voice your opinion on there on that matter here, because it's a huge thing. I was reading up myself. Some people say it's about safety and health, but it's about providing a form of living for some folks that don't have no other form of money
Right.
and transportation. and to live, for it. Because I tell you one thing, if them folks stop putting up them signs and asking for help, they're gonna start putting up them hands and taking help. You
yeah,
know, so you have to pick what we're doing out here and talk to them. They're human. They're people too. But guess what? We gotta love them just like anybody else. And then Ricky's right, 6 p.m. to 7:30. Every third Thursday, meet our community and safe and decent place to live. Make our community a safe and decent place to live. Tell Councilman Andre Bogarty to vote no.
no, yeah. Vote no on the bill.
Vote no on the bill. So I mean, we asking for y'all to come out to make that known and let them know that we care. We might have a resolution for you. If y'all see it a different way, come on out here, sit down, and let us give you some resolutions of what we can do differently. Because guess what? More minds thinking about it can grow our community. It can build us up and give us the resolution we need. Folks, we just had a wonderful Black History Month. And, I told myself tonight I'm going to give honor to the Reverend Jesse Jackson, for all his work and his activism out here in the community. So we want to take a minute just to honor Reverend Jesse Jackson as well here. But George, you got any last closing comments, man? I'm so thankful to have you on tonight. But man, throw something out there.
Yeah, also I got a men's socialized mental health group in Great Start.
Okay.
For that we can come to the table and speak about issues and things that we have or things in your life, what's on your chest. It's a circle for all men to be able to get back to each other. That group is great to get started. Also, we gotta establish something for the youth, so parents can bring their youth out so they can start being engaged on their opinions and what they want to see, and that will help them be more productive inside the society. And what can we put in place to help them, be more comfortable and more relaxed so they ain't out hanging out and doing the things that they don't have to be doing,
Right.
More after school projects I'm working on, for the kids. I was speaking to a lot of them. They want something to play basketball in because the center that they built over off of the POW, a lot of the families can't afford their membership. You got vans over there, but you still charge extra to have them picked up. That's a resource that hurt our community. You should be able to go pick up kids that really want to go and play basketball. It shouldn't be no extra fee. You know what I mean? It's a community. It's our community. You know what I mean? It's a rec center.
It's a rec center for it. And Smack put up a big comment there, folks. It's tomorrow at 6. If you can meet us at the City Hall tomorrow at 6 p.m., stand in solidarity. Final vote is tomorrow. Folks, if you can come out so we can just make a movement of letting the folks that know that we active in the community, we know what's happening, we want change, and we want to make it happen for everyone out here. So see y'all tomorrow at 6 p.m. City Hall. Don't miss that opportunity right off of Lockerman. Folks, another great show, another great month of Black History Month here. Excellent guests, man. George, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, honestly. I appreciate everything you're doing out here in this community. I appreciate what the coalition's doing out here in this community. And I want us to keep pressing on. But folks, third Thursday of the month, Al North 35, 329, Hookerman.
Please come out.
Please come out. Dover, Delaware. Please come out. Have a good time. We're going to talk, have some good conversations. And guess what? We're going to make a change. That change is coming, as they said. And guess what? We're going to be the ones to stand in the gap as we perform it. As I said again, man, wonderful show tonight. This Creative Finance with JB. Until next week, we'll see you later.
Break my break.
That's it. See y'all. Have a good night.